Welcome back to my channel. It's season 8. Wow, 8 seasons of Theater of Darkness, Yamishibai. I'm probably mispronouncing it, but it is Theater of Darkness. Yamishibai? Shibai? Anyways, essentially this is a short anime, and for those who are wondering what I mean by that, is they're short episodes. I believe the first episode was 4 minutes and a half, was how much it was. So they're very, very short. It goes to the point. If you've ever seen any of these seasons, you know what they're about. Every episode is different from each other. Sometimes there is a two-parter. I think this is the one that sometimes they have two parts, but for the most part, they don't really connect to each other. It's just a accumulation of picture story animation, and it goes straight off to its mini stories episode by episode. Now, before I continue with my first impressions, if you guys have not done so by now, make sure you subscribe to my channel. There will be a giveaway later on this week, so make sure you guys subscribe so you guys don't miss it. Make sure you check out my other first impression videos, and I'll make this video short because it's not really a long episode, so there's not really much to talk about. The episode itself is based on a handkerchief. I think that's the name of the episode, in fact. And essentially, these four kids or teens go into this abandoned house as a dare of courage, or what's the phrasing they use? Anyways, it's essentially a courage thing, right? So they go in there and they're looking around, and they're talking about the story of what happened here. Essentially, the family just picked up and disappeared. No one knows where they went. And it's very creepy everywhere. I mean, their photos are all scratched up, and it's very much abandoned. So they end up at the kids' room, and they start playing or drinking, and they start just talking about what they should do. And essentially, the lights go off, and every time the lights go back on, someone's missing. And the girl that I guess is the main character of the story finds that each time that the handkerchief is behind someone, that person goes missing. So the episode ends with her seeing that the handkerchief is behind her, and then the lights go off, and that's it. What I like about these stories is that they don't they don't really focus too much on horror based on how things look. There's some authors that do an amazing job, but then there's a lot of others that don't, that essentially ruined the whole fear factor by showing us a creature that is not as scary as we imagine it to be. But these stories do a good job where sometimes it's open ended, or sometimes is essentially they don't explain to you what it was because they want your imagination to go in circles. They want you to basically fill in the empty spots, and that creates a greater fear factor because I think as a person that loves horror and loves stuff like that, I would say one of the things that a lot of people um, do not like, are uncomfortable about, is the unknown, not knowing what it is, not knowing what's next, and when the episode doesn't tell you, it leaves you unease. So they did a good job on it. Now, animation wise, again, it's picture story style. For those who don't know what that is, essentially, it's like if you're watching a storybook. They don't do a lot of movement animation, so to some people, from what I've seen, it turns them off by watching it like that. But for the most part, it's not that bad. It is the eighth season. They did a good job in the first episode. I know that eventually these get basically tiresome if you watch them back to back. So I'm going to say this one, it deserves a 6 out of 8. You know, if this was the first time they ever did it, I'd probably give it a higher rating. But there's 8 seasons, so 6 out of 10 is what I think it deserves. Thank Thank you so much for watching this. Let me know what I should be watching next. There's a few things that I've missed already, so let me know what next first impression videos you have me to give, and I'll try my best to do those as soon as possible. Thank you guys for your love and support again, and like always, don't be strangers.